Today's video is Adventure is Calling. Adventure is calling. Adventure. Hello, and welcome to Write for the Stage. My name is Nicole, and I'm a playwright. I'm here to help you learn how to share your ideas, whether that's for an audience of 1 or 1,000. Today's video is Adventure is Calling. You will need about 3 to 5 sheets of paper. I have pretty big handwriting, so I needed 5, and a pen or pencil. If you don't have paper, or if you prefer to type, then you can always use a computer or a tablet instead. Let's get started. If you happen to see my other video, Writing the Unknown, then you might remember there's this kind of story called The Hero's Journey. The main character, or hero, leaves home, goes on an adventure, faces challenges, learns important things, and comes back home at the end of the story. It's kind of like they go back to start. When the hero returns home, though, their life has been changed by their adventure. There is a lot of detail in this picture, but we're going to ignore most of it. Today, we're writing just one part of a hero's journey, and that's this moment right here, the call to adventure. The call to adventure happens when the hero is at home, just going about their regular, everyday life, unaware of the fact that they are actually capable of some amazing, heroic things. But then, they discover some new place, or some new power, or some heroic thing, and it makes everything different. That's why the call to adventure is so exciting. It's a moment in the hero's life when everything changes. But here's the catch. When the hero gets the call to adventure, at first, they almost always say no. Why? Well, because at that point, they don't feel like they're a hero. They feel like just a regular person. And they're worried about regular people's stuff, like school and work. They don't feel like they can leave home. Plus, they don't know they're capable of saving the whole world. I'll give you an example. When Obi-Wan Kenobi shows up at Luke Skywalker's door, and he's just like, "Hey, Luke, let's go. We gotta fly all over the galaxy and fight Darth Vader and all that stuff." Luke says, "No thank you, old guy. Not interested in that." And Obi-Wan has to convince Luke to go on the adventure, which, as you know, of course, he does. Let's look at a newer example. This is a book that came out in 2020 called The Barren Grounds by David A. Robertson. David A. Robertson started writing in 2009, and he's already published more than 20 books. That's 20 books in 12 years, so he really writes a lot. He's Indigenous and a member of Norway House Cree Nation, one of the biggest Indigenous communities in Manitoba, which is in Canada. On the book's cover, you can see some of the main characters. First, we have our hero, Morgan. Morgan is 13 years old. She lives with her foster parents, Katie and James, in Winnipeg, Canada. She is Indigenous while her foster parents are white, and she doesn't know her birth parents. The next character is Eli. Eli is 12 years old. He just started living with Morgan and her foster parents. He's also Indigenous like Morgan. Finally, there's Ochek. Ochek is a fisher, a small furry creature kind of like a weasel. His name, Ochek, is the Cree word for fisher. Ochek is much bigger than a regular fisher that you would see in the real world. He also walks on 2 legs and he can talk. Morgan's story starts when Eli moves in. See, Eli makes this drawing and it opens a portal to this other world and this village called Misewa. Now, Misewa is on Earth, but it's in this kind of other dimension where time works differently, and so do animals like Ochek. Ochek's community and his village of Misewa is facing a lot of danger, and I won't give it all away, but basically they're stuck in this everlasting winter, and so they're fighting just to even survive. Now, I'm going to read you some of Morgan's call to adventure from the book, and specifically, I'm going to read the dialogue. Now, if this is a new thing to you, I've got a whole video called How to Write Dialogue that really breaks it down, but just for the sake of your time today and making the most of it, what you need to know is that the word dialogue just means conversation. And the challenge when you're writing dialogue or conversation is that all you can write is what the characters say out loud. So not what they're thinking or long descriptions like you would see in a book. I think it'll make more sense when you hear this scene from the Barren Grounds. Well, we should probably go. What? Why? I don't want to go anywhere. You've been waiting for me? I came here looking for you to bring you back. We have to go. We can't just leave our Earth and stay here. I promised Katie that I wouldn't run away. This would be running away, like super far away. You promised Katie. I didn't. What's there for me now? They're not my family. I got taken away from my family. Yeah, but Eli, even if you're not with your family, they're still waiting for you. How long have you been gone from your home, Morgan? Do you think your mom is still waiting for you? That's not fair. You know that's not fair, and it's totally different. I'm sorry, what's this about your mother, Esquises? Nothing, it's nothing. I just have to get back before Katie and James wake up. That's all. Katie and James, these are your parents? Are you children, brother and sister? They are not my parents. But Eli is kind of my brother in a way. I'm responsible for him. That's why I walk him home from school. What is school? Well, at least you're acting like a fantasy creature. I'll fill you in on the walk back to the great tree. Eli, come on. Can't we just... You said I was gone for like 2 hours, and I've been here for 2 weeks, right? Can't we just stay here a bit longer, like a week, and still get back before Katie and James are awake? I see you've done the math. It wasn't hard. No, I guess it wasn't. Morgan looks through the cracks in the shuttered window. Well, the whole darn place should be called the Barren Grounds. What are we even going to do here for a week, Eli? Have snowball fights? We're going to help. Help? How can I help a village full of walking, talking animals stuck in some never-ending winter? You can help like I've been helping. Eli, I don't know the first thing about what you've been doing out here. We can teach you. Have you even looked for this guy? The one who stole your birds or whatever? We've no idea where the man went those many years ago. And I guess even if you went on a search party, you'd starve to death if you didn't find the summer birds, like, right away. We'd have to know exactly where to look, yes. Well, that sucks. So, this man, just curious. I know he's evil and everything, but what did you call him? Nephew. And nephew means... man. Okay, so every being on ASCII is literally named after what they are. Girl, fisher, man, bear. For real? Not always. Just call them what they want you to call them, Morgan. But Eli's Eli and I'm girl, just to clarify. I've known him for weeks now, that's why. Seems a little sexist maybe, that's all. Stay here with us. We could use your help. I don't want you to call me by my name that bad. Morgan looks at Oczek. I'm the only hunter well enough to do the work. With you here, Esquisses, we could survive longer. How much could I even learn in a week? You learn by doing. Being on the land is being with the best teacher. Morgan looks at Eli. Fine. We'll stay. We'll help. For real? Yeah, for real. What I love about that scene is how Morgan changes her mind. She starts out at a complete no, not gonna do it, not interested. And then Eli and Oczek both sort of convince her and move her along to where she's a maybe. And finally, at the end, she says yes. So we're gonna write dialogues, aka conversations, of our own, where a hero is called to adventure and a helper convinces them to go. Ready? Let's write. To start, let's figure out the who and the what of our own stories. So we're looking for a hero, a helper, and an adventure. Who and what? To figure these things out, you're going to answer these questions. Who is the hero of your story? Basically, you're going to choose a character, and you can use any character you have in your head. I have a whole video that guides you through the process of creating a character if you want to pause here and do that. If you can't think of a character, just choose an animal. That's what I'm going to do today. Next, decide who wants the hero to go on their adventure. Is it a friend, a family member, a sidekick, a teacher? This character will be the helper. Finally, the big question. What is the adventure calling your hero? To stand up for themselves? To help their family or their community? To save the world from danger? No adventure is too big or too small. In Star Wars, Luke is the hero, Obi-Wan Kenobi is the helper, and the adventure is to fly all over the universe, fighting the dark side of the Force and helping people. In The Barren Grounds, Morgan is the hero, Eli is the helper, and the adventure is to stay in Misiwa and help Oczek get back what was stolen from his community. I was inspired by The Barren Grounds to think about the animals that live in my area. I've seen a couple hawks flying around that I think are really cool, so I decided my hero would be a hawk. My hero is a hawk named Hallie. The helper is Hallie's mom, who is also a hawk, and her name is Harper. The adventure I decided on for Hallie is to learn how to shapeshift into other animals like her mom can. Now it's your turn. So pause the video here and take as much time as you need to figure out who your hero and your helper are and what the adventure is. Go. Nice job. You've got the who and the what. Now in step 2, it's time to think about the why. Thinking about the why before you start writing is really going to help you write your dialogue. First, write 3 reasons why your hero should go on the adventure. And then write 3 reasons why your hero should not go on the adventure. In The Barren Grounds, Eli is the one giving Morgan reasons that she should go on the adventure. Some of his reasons are that he wants to help Oczek and that they need his help, and that Misiwa really reminds him of his home and his culture, like how they speak Cree, so Eli doesn't want to leave them behind. But Morgan has tons of reasons why she should not go on the adventure. For one, she promised her foster mom that she wouldn't run away like she has from other foster homes in her past. And she doesn't really see how she and Eli can be much help since they don't really know how to hunt or survive or do anything in such a snowy climate. When you're coming up with your reasons, don't worry too much about them being right or wrong. This is pre-writing, so you can always throw out a reason that doesn't work for you, and you can add ones that you come up with later. Here are the reasons I wrote down. I accidentally did mine out of order, but it doesn't really matter. The reasons why my hero should not go on the adventure are because Hallie only knows how to be a hawk and changing would be scary, because Hallie would have to study and practice a lot and have less free time, because it might be dangerous. How would she know? Maybe it is. The reasons why my hero should go on the adventure are because Hallie could feel what it's like to be another animal, because Hallie's mom can shapeshift, so it's part of Hallie's heritage, because Hallie could travel more easily, swim like a fish or run like a cheetah, stuff like that. All right, it's your turn. Pause the video and write your reasons now. Awesome work. This is the final step for today, step number 3. And it's time to write your dialogue, aka your conversation, between the hero and the helper. Write a dialogue between your hero and your helper. Your helper's job is to convince the hero to go on the adventure. But the problem is, of course, the hero doesn't want to go. If you already know how you want this conversation to go, you can just get to writing. But if you're wondering how to start your dialogue, here's an option that you can use if you want to for your first lines. Hero: I can't do this. Helper: why not? I decided I would use those 2 lines to start my dialogue. And here's what I came up with. I can't do this. Why not? I'm a hawk. I've always been a hawk. I have wings and feathers and a beak. I can't just change. Actually, yes, you can, if you study with a good teacher. But that doesn't make any sense. Hallie, listen to me. This is who you are. You're like me. You have a unique ability, and that means you can do things that others can't do. Like shapeshift. Like understand. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to be a crow? Or a goose? Or a hummingbird? I guess so. Well then, find out. But why though? What's the point? Just to look different? You are so smart for your age. Mom! I'm sorry. It's just that that's the perfect question. Okay, so what's the answer? What do you think? I guess if I changed into a hummingbird, could I communicate with hummingbirds? With practice? Yes. And geese and crows? Uh-huh. And like elephants? Now you're getting it. Who's this teacher? Can I meet them first? I was hoping you'd say that. That's my dialogue. So I definitely used some of the reasons I came up with in step 2, but not all of them. Just have your list next to you because it will really help if you get stuck. Also, remember, this is the last step, so take all the time you like to write. There is no rush. Ready? Happy writing. That's it. You're done. You learned how to write the hero's call to adventure. I hope you had fun. If you enjoyed writing about an adventure, I would definitely recommend my other video, Writing the Unknown. It is also about the hero's journey. If you already did that one though, you could keep writing about this adventure that you focused on today by writing the next scene for your hero. For me, that would be the scene where Hallie goes off to meet her shape-shifting teacher for the first time. If you like to act or perform, on the other hand, then you could read your dialogue out loud with someone who lives with you. You read one part and they read the other, and it becomes a short performance. Thanks for watching Write for the Stage. I'll see you next time. Bye. That's my dialogue. So, write yours now. I think I had some other things to tell you. What were they?